Hello. I'm going to do this video here today on hello. I'm going to do this video here today. So it's kind of about concrete objects, right? So in the past, I've done my slabs and my walls as solids, and I'm switching over. I wouldn't recommend that anymore. There's numerous ways you can do them. You can do them as plates. Now, if you're going to do them as plates, you might as well do them as concrete objects, because basically a concrete object is a plate. It's just advanced steel scissor as concrete instead. So I don't think it takes up any more memory or anything like that. So basically, I have a slab here, and I have. If we come in here, we can see some beams here, right? So these beams are under the second floor. So if I go to shaded, we can see that those beams, we can't see them, right? Because they're an inch below the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this slab up 50 feet. Just any number that is like 50 or 100 feet, something like that, so you'll remember it. If I double click on this, you can see it is a solid, so there's no intelligence here, which is fine. But if you want hatching to come in and stuff like that, it's a little easier if you make it into a slab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a concrete slab here. So let's pretend our UCS is at world, and then let's set our UCS up here. Come up to our extended modeling, objects, go to slab, pick this outer corner, and this one over here is not actually an outer corner, but we'll snap to it, and we have a 10-inch slab. Now we can see over here that we're a little short, so let's select here, and there should be a center point here, and let's drag this over. Like a plate, you can just drag it, you don't have to restrict the UCS. Alright, so there's our slab. Now we want to go to shaded, to the wireframe, so we're going to cut out these parts. So let's go to our features, the same as you would do our plates, and cut out these features. Now, what I might continue to do is just draw them in originally as solids, and then come back after the job is set up and put them in as concrete objects. So we can also create, if you wanted to, you could create a plate from this. So my kids are just back, so let me get the door and then I'll be back to you. Alright, just wait a second. Sorry about that. Kids are just back from a haircut. They like to ring the doorbell a lot when they get home. Alright, so now we can also do a polygon feature on this if we want. So we could just trace around the slab that's already there, or we could have the polygon already there, whatever you choose. You can right click and choose polygon. So, you know, some people feel like it's time consuming, but you know, it's nice to get your jobs done right too, right? Back to the start point, and there's your feature, okay? Now over here, this was an error on me drawing the polygon. Let's just make sure I picked the right corner. I believe I went past the corner over here. Yeah, so that should be good. Alright, so let's not worry about the slab. So let's get rid of the slab that we drew first. Or you could just put that slab onto a different layer and turn it off if you want. So now I'm going to move this back down. Before I move it down, let's go in and we will see that it is a slab. The naming of this slab will be concrete slab. Concrete slab. Okay, so now we're going to move this back down. Now before we move it back down, actually what we'll do is we'll update this drawing. and we'll see that the slab will disappear. So the slab is now gone. Alright, now I need to clean this up because I have some elements in here that I used to draw these, so these are things I need to fix also. So don't worry about these not defined. These ones are the ones we need to worry about, and that's good. So now we're going to go back to the model. We're going to move our slab back down. Move our slab back down 50 feet. And then when we update this, the slab's going to come back in. These labels are going to disappear because my slab is in the way. Alright, so now these are now hidden. Hidden lines. Alright, so now we want to go into our drawing process. Drawing style, sorry. Plan view ADM 330 seconds. So let's go to outputs. Let's come in here. And let's go plan view ADM 330 seconds. Go to object presentation. And we want to do concrete. So we can see we have concrete objects all. We don't want to do all. We can see right now the labeling is off. Exact hidden cut concrete. So this one will give you a cut, a hatch on it. So I want to create a new one. And this one here, we're going to move all the way up to the top. So let's move it all the way to the top, bar one, right? So we can see, let's move it up, 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 up. We can't see it, but it's still going. There it is. And if you want, we can just move it above the other one, will do. And let's come into it. And we want concrete slab. So it's going to control that concrete slab because we have the model roll of concrete slab. Because if we go in here, concrete slab is a model object of a concrete slab. It doesn't matter the model roll. We can change that now. The model roll if you have different types of concrete slabs, okay? But so that's good. So we don't even need to put the model roll in if once we create it as a concrete slab. And here we want to turn it off. And I haven't actually labeled concrete, so let's see others. Probably commodity or something like that. Let's just put something in just for the laugh and see. Apply, use. Now this slab should disappear and these labels should all come back in again. And of course, sorry, the label is not going to come in because I turned it off, right? So let's not worry about the label for now, although I am curious. You know what, let me just check it. As they say, you're making me curious. So what I wanted to do was turn the label on first. So let's change this to visible, apply, use. These labels will disappear again. The slab will appear and might have a label on it. Or won't have a label. Alright, so we need to figure out what the label for the concrete is, if there is a label for concrete. Let's just see. Concrete slabs. Alright, plates, plant 3D. Holes, others, beams, bolts. You know, so we can use user attribute or something like that if we wanted to put a label in here. Level label, let's see if that comes in with anything. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. We can add whatever we want as a label. I just thought there might be something in there already. No. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back in. I'm going to turn both off, the presentation. So let's go to this again. And visible, we're going to turn this off. I don't like when it goes in here. It's harder for me to see it, but Alright, we're going to turn that off, apply, and then go back to object presentation. Now, these beams aren't numbered, so they're behaving as regular beams. So, beams side width. Is there beams all? Beams platform off. Beams column side width, beams top front length. So this one here is giving me the top of steel mark, right? So I want to turn off all of the not visible ones. So let's come in here and beams, parts with model roll. Let's see if not visible is in here. I don't know if it is. It is in here. So not visible. And I want these to come in with no label. Label is off. And I want the presentation to be off also. Apply. Okay. So it's all the way at the bottom, right? So it's not going to work just yet anyway, right? Because I didn't move it up. So let's come in here and let's use this one. It'll turn off the slab, and then we can check these not visible ones, which are inside in the columns. So in here, these are the not visible ones. So I want these, so I use these beams here to draw in these shear connections. If I go here, you can see them. So you can see them in here. And if I go in, you can see the behavior is set to not use them, right? So now I want to also not see them. So if I go back into my drawing style, and go down to the bottom, not visible, we want to move this up above my beams. So it should work here, and I actually want this to be all of them, right? So I'm not going to restrict the geometric restriction. Use, and let's see, this should turn off these labels and also the visibility of those parts inside the concrete columns. Didn't work, right? So there's a reason that didn't work. So let me go back and check the model and see naming not visible. Alright, so that's correct. Now go back here and let's go back into the drawing style. These are not numbered, so it has to be a beam. So is there a beam up higher? Beam platform possibly, but the labeling is off, so that's not controlling it. Mark a name, pour stop. So if we go into this, let's just check it. So objects with the model roll. So we have this, it seems, set correct, right? So model objects, all objects, anything that has the model roll not visible is not going to be visible. So the problem is something ahead of it is controlling it. If you don't have time, it doesn't really matter. Usually if you just move this up to the top, you can move on, and it doesn't really matter that you don't know what it is. You'll eventually figure it out, but let's go ahead and pour stop and see, apply, use, and then later you can go back if you want to figure it out, but it doesn't really matter. So now it has disappeared, right? So one of those other ones was controlling it. All you need to do is go back in and move it back down, and I'm sure we could figure out what it was. But let's have a quick look. Existing beam, non-linear. It's got to be this here, something like this, right? Beam platform, and then if you go in, we can see It's only with model roll platform, so that's not it. It's going to have something that has model roll all here. But anyway, that's kind of the idea. That's how you continue with switching things to concrete. So now my slabs are off. Previously, when I had these as solids, I would have to turn them off in the model and then update or else delete them in here, which is all very good and fine as well. It's not a big deal, but just think like this way you're going to have more control and things are going to look a little bit nicer. So that's my switching over to concrete video. I hope it helps a little bit. Now obviously I need to switch these to concrete so I can get some hatching in here also. So maybe I'll do a part 2 of this video. I gotta go up and make some pancakes for the kiddos. Alright, thank you, bye.